Morning. Welcome to day 31 of Daily Dash. Daily Dash, that's hilarious. Daily habit. Someone must be a little tired this morning. I better drink some coffee. We're actually reading from the Dash, and we are on kind of the last pages where folks are telling us how the poem, The Dash, impacted them. So today's reading is from Benji's Dash by Gail Blanton. And let's read through that, and then we can just talk a little bit about their experience maybe, and just generally how things are going. Hope you're having a great morning this Friday morning. I hope that you're looking forward to your weekend. Make it a great day as always. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I appreciate it. I am new to this, 31 days into it to be exact. And the goal of this is to, again, make it a daily habit of reading something, thinking about something, kind of building that up, and also just kind of dusting off the covers of some of the books that have been laying around to do that. So for those of you that are tuning in, I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your comments. Anything you're thinking about, anything that maybe resonated with you, I love reading those comments, appreciate it. And I hope this, for me, I love quotes. There's something about quotes always kind of connect with me. And so I think this particular book has kind of a lot of that flavor, so I really like it, and I hope you do too. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, hope you're having a wonderful morning. Losing a child is the hardest thing any parent can face. But for one mother, the Dash is now the promise of the future for the next generation. On November 18th, 2002, my son, Benji, lost his life in an automobile accident. He was only 27 years old, an umpire and a member of the Green Sea Floyd's Recreation Department. Benji loved working with the youth of our Green Sea, South Carolina community. A few weeks after we lost our son, one of the board members from the GCF Recreation Department called to tell us that the board had decided to set up a scholarship in Benji's memory and to have a monument made for the foot of the flagpole at the Recreation Department. We were so stunned that they thought so much of Benji to honor his memory in this way. 6 months later, my family and I were sitting in the audience at the Green Sea Floyd's Athletic Awards program, where my daughter, Jill, was to present the first Benji Blanton Memorial Scholarship to a senior athlete. Before Jill went up to present the award, the athletic director of our school, Doug Henson, read a poem to us. It was The Dash. I sat there with tears in my eyes, along with most of the audience. When he finished, he said, "Those of you who knew Benji know his dash was well lived." When I got home, I put a copy of The Dash in a scrapbook. I had started with all the memorials of Benji. I would go back often and read it again and again. During the past few years, I have given copies of the book, The Dash, to friends who needed to hear this most inspiring and wonderful poem at a time when they were grieving for a loved one. But the book also touches the next generation as well. Each year from now on, each person who receives Benji's scholarship will receive a copy of Linda Ellis's book, The Dash. I have been touched by the poem, The Dash, in so many ways. It made me stop and think about life like never before. It has made a huge difference in my life. Losing my son is the hardest thing I have faced in my life. But with the help of family and friends, I live every day as if it's my last. I am so proud of my son, Benji, and how he lived his dash. I have been trying to live so that when my eulogy is read, I hope my family will be proud of how I lived mine as well. Each of us will one day be judged by our standard of life, not by our standard of living, by our measure of giving, not by our measure of wealth, by our simple goodness, not by our seeming greatness. Author William Arthur Ward. Gosh, it's probably been, give or take, about 24 years, I think, since my cousin passed. Unfortunately, his dash was not like this. He chose to take his own life. And I always wonder what I could have done to maybe have known something was going on, something was wrong. It's always one of those things. You know, there was points in my life where I was pretty close with Craig, my cousin, and then there were other points in time when I wasn't. So for some reason, when I think of a younger person, this is a great story, obviously, of someone who did something with their dash. But I think Craig, in his own way, he had a lot of battles that he had to deal with. And if you're out there dealing with battles, don't give up. Reach out to someone. Let people know what's going on. Because we only get so much time, right? We only have so much. We don't know when. But if we can choose not to check out early, that's a tough one. There's a lot there for you. There's so much. And it doesn't have to be anything super complicated like we were saying before. Life isn't about giant leaps. It's kind of learning how to live with the day-to-day. And you're going to have bad days. You're going to have great days. You're going to have wonderful days. God is in your corner. But don't be afraid to tell people how you're doing. In fact, as a reminder for myself and everybody, you don't know what folks are going through, what's going on in their world inside. So be kind. Say hello. Say, hey, how you doing? You don't realize even just simple things like that could make a massive impact. It could stop someone from making the wrong choice. People are taken from us every day unexpectedly. And then there are moments when it's just shocking, but you have to work through it. I miss my cousin Craig quite a bit. He actually had a son born pretty much almost at the same time as me, my son Adam. And he was basically 364 days older than me. He was born June 8th, 1970, and I was, of course, June 7th, 1971. So, but yeah, he left us right around, he was 30 and I think I was 29. So, yeah, so I said about 23, 24 years ago. So it's been a while, but it still comes up in my heart and still holds on to me. As I just think, when I think of people that have left me too soon, too early, I feel. Again, it's not my choice, obviously, but I just think what could have happened in their life. What would it have been like for his son to have known his father? So those are some things I do think about. All right, well, I digressed a little bit there, and I know it's not completely what we have going on here, but each of us will one day be judged by our standard of life, not by our standard of living, by our measure of giving, not by our measure of wealth, by our simple goodness, not by our seeming greatness. William Arthur Ward. Make it a great day. Talk with you everybody tomorrow. And thanks again for tuning in. Bye.